So I was just thinking in my head, like, girl, you don't even know the kind of pain I'm in and you want me to have paracetamol? Honey, like, this is beyond paracetamol. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So as you can see, I'm here with my baby boy. He is born, and today I wanted to record for you my labour story. I do want to let you know, doing little smiles in his sleep. I do want to give you the quick disclaimer. I might stop during the video if he wakes up to be fed, or changed or whatever, if he gets a bit fussy. So yeah, just so you know. And also you might hear him snoring and making little noises here and there as well. So yes, he is currently 6 weeks old, which means I am 6 weeks postpartum. So yeah, I can literally make a whole video about how it's been postpartum and just like so many things that helped me and so many things I will do next time to help me. But I feel like I feel like everything was pretty much good. There's just a few things that I would probably change, but yeah, I can make a whole video about that. But today is about my labour story. So yeah, I don't want to waste any time. Let's get into it. I went into labour at 39 weeks and 1 day. So my due date was the 8th of December. And baby boy came 6 days early on the 2nd of December. So let's start off with everything. So basically, I'm a first time mum, and you know they typically say first time mums, they go into labour very, very late usually, or they don't really go into labour early or on their due date. So I was preparing for the possibility that I was gonna be overdue, and so was my midwife. I'd seen my midwife at my 38-week appointment, I believe. I think so, yeah, 38-week appointment or something like that. And she'd basically booked a sweep for me to get a sweep done on the 12th of December. So that would be like 4 days after my due date. Just in the case that he didn't come on time, or he didn't come on his due date, just to help me out, I guess, to help start the labour process. So yeah, so she booked me for the 12th of December to come and get a sweep done. So that's what I was expecting to get done. And so let's set the scene to the actual day of the labour. So the day before was a Sunday, the 1st of December, and I was at church. I was pretty much active all the way up until I gave birth, basically, which I don't know if this has anything to do with the fact that the reason why I went into labour early. But yeah, so I was literally at church the day before. I even went out with my family to Nando's to get some food. Then we went to my parents' house and we chilled the night before, and then went home. And so yeah, Monday the 2nd comes, and on this day I'm basically just chilling the whole day, not really getting up to much, trying to relax as much as possible because my midwife had told me that I need to be resting as much as I can. Monday I'm chilling. I think my mother-in-law was meant to come over with her sister, my husband's auntie. So they went to come over, and so I got up, got ready, just so that if they came over, I was ready to see them and, you know, say hello and stuff, because this is an auntie I hadn't met before. And so I got ready and everything, and even before that I was in baby's room, sorting out his room, sorting out his drawers, things like that. The room was pretty much ready, but I was just sorting things out. And so yeah, they didn't end up coming, I remember. So I was just relaxing, and then later on I decided that I wanted to start collecting colostrum. So actually the week before I started trying to collect colostrum because my midwife told me to, and I bought syringes and everything so that I can collect it. And what I did was I had learned that if you use your breast pump to stimulate your nipples, you can basically help the colostrum to start coming. And so the week before that I had started using the breast pump to try, and it wasn't working. But I did realise that I did start to feel like little cramping pains, and I had also heard that nipple stimulation, especially if you use a breast pump, can cause you to be induced, like it can induce your labour. And so I felt that pain, like little cramping pain. I was like, oh no, I wasn't ready for him to come just yet. I had things, I wanted to get my labour hair done. I wanted to get my nails and toes done just so I was ready before he came. And so I wasn't ready for him to come selfishly. Yeah, so I stopped using the pumps. But this time I was just using them. I didn't mind. I was just like, you know what, if he comes now, I'm ready for him, basically. Because I'd said to a few friends and things, I wouldn't mind if he came a bit early, especially because I wanted to be as active as possible for Christmas, and be able to like be out for Christmas and go to my family's house and things like that. And so I didn't mind him coming a bit early. And so anyway, when I started feeling like little cramping pains whilst I was using the pump, I didn't stop this time. I continued to use it. And actually at the time, I had my laptop. I was literally sitting right here where I am right now in front of my vanity with my laptop, and I was watching somebody else's birth vlog, which is so funny. And so I kept the pumps on, and all of a sudden I felt a strong pain, which clearly was a contraction. And I was just like, what? This does not feel like any other cramp I've ever felt. And so I was just like, okay, let me stop using it now. So I took it off and I stopped using them. And I just sat there for a bit. And I was just like, let me continue just sitting here watching the vlog. And if another one comes, then I'll go downstairs and tell my husband, James. And so like 2 minutes go by, and then bam, another one. And this, I'm telling you guys, this did not feel like any normal cramp that I've ever felt. It felt, obviously it was manageable at this point because it was at the beginning, but it was very sharp and strong, and it definitely felt like a contraction. And so yes, I went downstairs immediately and I went into my husband's office, and I was just like, babe, I think I'm in labor. And he was just like, oh, okay, you know, go sit down in the living room, start timing your contractions, because I have a contractions timer on my phone. So I was like, okay. I go sit down, I start timing my contractions. And so my contractions are very irregular. They're about 10 minutes apart, 6 minutes apart. They're just very, very up and down. And yeah, 2 minutes apart, 1 minute apart. And by this time my husband had called my mum. My mum was also my birthing partner along with my husband. So he called her. This is at, oh, I didn't tell you the time. This is at 6 p.m. by the way. So he called my mum. Mum's finished work. She's like, okay, I'm coming straight over. And then I think after then, my husband had come to me and he was just like, why don't you go and shower, you know, get dressed and just like feel fresh, because if you do have the baby tonight, you want to feel fresh. And so or you want to just feel comfortable and know that you've, like, you know, a shower and a bath can make you just really calm and just make you feel good. And so, and not only that, but I wanted to be showered before I was, like, you know, all of that was being exposed basically. And so I jumped in the shower, which I'm glad I did. And I think I managed to jump in whilst I was in between a contraction, so I didn't feel any pain until I came out. That's when a little contraction hit me. So it was the best time to actually jump in the shower, because I didn't realize how fast my labor was going to ramp up. And so anyway, by the time I jump out of the shower, my mum has arrived at my house, and so she's there, and on her way to my house she had called my dad. So my dad was with my brother, and so they decided to come over as well. So I come downstairs, my mum is there, and then I think my brother and my dad were there already, or I don't know, but they came eventually. So they were all in the living room around me. My husband was running up and down the house, putting our baby bag stuff in the car. Obviously I'd already packed it, just like how you guys have seen the video. I'd already packed it, so I was ready. So praise God, I did that. So all he had to do was put it in the car. He was getting his things ready, just getting the house sorted basically. And so yeah, I was just sitting in the living room timing my contractions, just like bearing through it basically. And then I would say after an hour or two, so this is like by like 7 or 8, it starts to hit me badly. Like they start coming, and at this point, oh yeah, I forgot to say, sorry, I started using my TENS machine when my contractions started as well. I bought the TENS machine from Boots. I'll put it here on the screen. That did help at first, but then when I got out of the shower and I tried to put it back on, I think because I had like creamed my body, it wouldn't stick back on, so I just stopped using it. I just said forget it. And to be fair, at this point they were getting so bad that I just didn't really want to wear it anymore. But anyway, yeah, so it got to the point like a couple hours into labor that I literally couldn't sit down, so I got on the floor. I was lying on the floor. I had a bean bag in my living room that I was lying on, and I was on my hands and knees basically, yeah, bearing through the pain. I just couldn't sit down, I couldn't lie down. It just, I don't know, nothing was making me feel comfortable. And then I also started to feel this like wind pain, like I was winded. So can you imagine feeling contraction pains, like sharp pains? And even contraction pains, guys, I can't even explain to you how it feels. It just feels like somebody is like crushing your insides. It's a pain out of this world. It's an indescribable pain that I can't even explain, basically. So can you imagine feeling that along with feeling winded? Like, it was horrible. And so yeah, so I started feeling those pains, and then I also needed to throw up. And I'd heard and I'd learnt in my antenatal class that you start to feel like you want to throw up when your body starts to feel like it wants to throw up when it's basically trying to clear your body out, getting ready for baby to come. So I knew that, oh, I'm throwing up now. Maybe this means that like he's coming, like he's actually coming today. And so yeah, because I didn't think he was gonna come that day. I literally had no idea. I thought I'll be in labor for hours, especially seeing this is my first labor or first experience being in labor. And so yeah, so my husband gets a bucket for me. I vomit everything that I'd eaten earlier that day. TMI, sorry, but it's the reality. I vomited everything, and I remember hearing my mum say like that happened to me when I was having you guys, like I was vomiting. So I knew that it was a normal symptom, like, you know, I wasn't worried that I was vomiting. But anyway, so I vomited everything that I'd eaten, and yeah, I did feel a bit better because that sickness feeling went. Okay guys, sorry, hopefully you guys can see me. Okay guys, sorry, I had to my camera died, so I'm just gonna continue recording on my phone because I don't have time to wait for my battery to charge, because as you know, or as you may know, I don't know if anyone has kids here, when you have a baby you ain't got time to wait. Whilst they're sleeping, this is the time, because when he wakes up, he's my boss basically. Like, I do what he says, and yeah, if I don't, he's gonna cry and I'm gonna feel that. So yeah, I need to get this video done basically. So I'm just going to continue on my phone. So sorry for the quality change, but yeah, just got to get this video going. Yeah, so yeah, I was in so much pain. The wind pain was horrible, and yeah, it was just really, really bad. Mum even she was asking me if I had peppermint tea in my house, because apparently that's meant to help with labor pain. Sorry, apparently Mom had asked me if I had peppermint tea in my house because it's meant to help with winded pain, but I didn't have any peppermint tea. I only had the push tea, which I was only drank once or twice. The tea that's meant to help you with your, like softening your cervix. That, you know, you guys know that tea that everyone drinks, and it has peppermint in it. So that's the only thing I could think of. So my mum went downstairs to go make it for me, and of course I didn't get a chance to drink it. But anyway, yeah, so that was really bad. And yeah, so also by this point my husband had called the hospital. He was trying to call the hospital to let them know that we would be coming, because yeah, I needed to go to the hospital now. And so he called them. He wasn't able to get through at first, and then eventually he got through to someone. And so I could hear her briefly whilst I was in pain, talking to him on the phone. And she was basically asking if I'm a first time mom, and like basically to like give me water, like lie down, give me some paracetamol. And so I was just thinking in my head, like, girl, you don't even know the kind of pain I'm in and you want me to have paracetamol? Honey, like, this is beyond paracetamol. But anyway, and you know, when you're a first time mum, they are a bit more like, what's the word? Obviously, because you've never felt this before, they think you're exaggerating, I guess, which makes sense. I don't know if that's the word, exaggerating, but I guess they know that you can, I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but what I'm trying to say is they probably want to lower your expectations that you're going to be that you're basically ready to give birth, because this is the first time you've ever done it. So they're just thinking you just need to relax, stay at home for as long as possible and all that. And I'd only been in labor for about 2.5 hours at this point, or coming up to 3 hours at this point. And so for them, it's just like, you just started, you know, how could you be that far along already, essentially? And so yeah, so my husband was just like, okay, Renee, why don't you go and lie down upstairs, you know? And I was just like, you know what, yeah, I will lie down, because I'm really tired now at this point. The contractions are licking me, like they're coming back to back. Literally, there's no breaks at this point anymore. They're literally like a minute to 30 seconds apart. So I am having no break. I am literally just bam, bam, bam. They're just hitting me. And so I was just like, you know what? I am tired. I do want to go lie down. So I went upstairs to our room. Mom came with me to just like support me. And so I went to lie down. And at this point, this is when she went to go make me that tea. And because I was struggling. And I couldn't lie in the bed. I tried to get in the bed, couldn't. And so she went to make me the tea. And then I started feeling like a sensation, like I needed to go to the toilet, like wee. Like I just needed to get wee out. But every time I would go, I went like twice. Nothing was coming out, and maybe like a trickle the first time, and then nothing was coming up. I kept feeling like I needed to go wee. Obviously, I know now this was the feeling of his head, I guess, on my bladder and like lowering. And so, yeah. And so, yeah, I went back upstairs after I needed to go wee, and I just couldn't do it any longer. And so they were like, okay, yeah, we need to go to the hospital. We're gonna go. And I think my husband called them again to let them know we were coming. I'm not too sure. I need to ask him that, but I think so. And so anyway, when they told me I needed to go to the hospital now, as much as I wanted to go, I was just like, I can't, guys. I was just like, guys, I can't get in the car. Like, I am in so much pain right now. I cannot. And at this point, I got to the point in my labor where I was very much doubting my ability. Like, I was just like, I can't do this. I feel like I'm gonna die. And it sounds very, very, very extreme, and very, 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 like, what I'm saying sounds mad. But I'm telling you guys, if you ever felt labor pain, it literally feels like you are dying. And I literally did not know if I could do it. I did not know if I could do it. Obviously, I knew that I wanted my baby, but I just didn't know how he was going to come out, because I was just in so much pain. I was just like, this is beyond me at this point. This pain is beyond me. Like, I was literally having almost like an out-of-body experience as well, because I was just like, I cannot be in this much pain right now. This can't be my reality. Like, nope. So anyway, yeah, eventually they did manage to get me into the car. I ended up going in before that, actually, I had to change my clothes because I was wearing shorts and stuff in the house. And so that was another thing, trying to get changed and put on trousers and a top. That was another thing, because I was just like, I can't do anything. So I was getting them, they were basically helping me with everything. And so anyway, they managed to get me out of the house. I ended up going in my parents' car. So my dad was driving, mum was in the front seat, and I was lying across, or trying to lie across the back seat. And my brother went in the car with my husband, with all of our stuff and stuff. So yeah, we were at a hospital that was about 20 to 30 minutes away. So I was anticipating that it would be a while before we got there. Even though 20 to 30 minutes doesn't sound long, when you're in labor, you just want to you just need to get there. Like, I just needed to get there. But obviously I knew that I couldn't, there's nothing I could do. I just had to get in the car, and we just got there when we got there. But thankfully, by God's grace, we got there so quick. We left the house, by the way, at 9. So I started my contractions at 6, and now it's 9 o'clock. And so, yeah, 3 hours and it's already ramped up. That's crazy, right? I'm already at contractions that are minutes, or I'm already having contractions that are like 30 seconds apart, which is crazy in 3 hours. And so anyway, I'm barely making it on the back seat of my parents' car. I'm literally, at this point, I'm crying out to God now. I'm like, God, only you can help me right now. Like, And one thing I will say also is that I obviously am a Christian, and my relationship with God and my salvation is very important to me. But I strongly believe that labor is definitely, well, I strongly believe that my labor brought me closer to God, because it made me realize that I could only do this by the strength of Him. I couldn't do this on my own. Nobody can do this on their own, essentially. Labor is crazy, and going through it made me realize how much of a awesome God He is, that I made it out alive and that women make it out alive, because it is literally like you are hanging between life and death for real. It really, really, really is. The complications, the things that can happen is just beyond this world. Only God can help you get through that kind of pain. So yeah, I am just so grateful that I have my relationship with God, because I really do feel like it helped me and it carried me through to giving birth to him. But anyway, that's another thing. But anyway, yeah, so we eventually get to hospital like faster than we usually do. I guess because it's at night time. We got there in about 15 minutes, it felt like. Yeah, about 15 minutes we got there. And then everything else was like orchestrated by God, because as soon as we got to the hospital, we were looking for parking for about 5 minutes. We were looking, so that was a bit annoying that we couldn't find anything straight away. But when we did, we saw like a worker and that works at the hospital, and we were like, can we park here? And he was like, yeah, you can park here. And so we parked there, and my dad was like, oh, we need a wheelchair for Renee. As soon as he goes to the parking spot, bam, a wheelchair is literally right there. Like, if that ain't God, I don't know. And so mom jumps out of the car, gets the wheelchair. I get out of the car, get in the wheelchair. My dad then goes to go and park the car. My husband and my brother have our stuff, and they've come out of their car, or of our car, and they're like meeting us. And now we're trying to figure out how, because the hospital was at the top, basically on the top level, and we're on the ground level. So we're trying to figure out how to get up, because it's at night, so all the doors we would usually go through are shut. And so my husband found a lift to go up. So we got in the lift, and it took us up to the level we needed to for the hospital. So thank God, because I needed to get into hospital. I was getting to the point where I was just like, I could barely sit on the... Sorry guys, the storage on my phone was running out, so I'm gonna be quick with this story. It's so annoying. I feel like the devil doesn't want me to tell my story. Like, sorry. Anyway, let's continue. So yeah, we got to hospital. We got up to the level that we needed to get to, and so as soon as we got into the hospital, first of all, it was really quiet. And if anyone knows the particular hospital that I'm talking about, if you know me, if you're friends or my family that are watching this video, this hospital is so hard to get up on this lift, especially during the day. Whenever I'd have my appointments, it was so hard to get up on the lift, because there was only two functioning lifts, two or four functioning lifts. I think it was two though, two functioning lifts, and it was always busy in the hospital, and it was always like hard to just get on the lift, because everyone was just going up and down and taking bare long. And so one of my prayers before is that when I do go into labour, that I go into labour in the evening or early hours of the morning, so that when I get to the hospital, it's quiet and I can just get up to the level that I need to give birth. And God answered one of those prayers, because as soon as I got to the hospital, it was quiet. Even though it was like 9:20 something at this point, 9:20 something in the evening, and it was silent. The hospital wasn't busy. There was barely anyone on the lifts. But as soon as we got in the hospital, there was a guy that was coming off one of the emergency lifts, and he quickly went back to the lift to get me on it, because I guess he saw that I was in labour. So that was a huge blessing. So I was so grateful for him. So he was able to send us directly up until the floor. I think it was the 7th floor. And so we went up on the floor, and we had to go to the maternity assessment unit first, just so they can assess and see that how many centimeters I am, and just see basically how far along I am, so they can put me in a room. And so we got there. They were asking me my details. I obviously was not in the frame of mind to answer, so my husband, praise God for him, answered all of those questions, everything that I needed. He had my book. In the UK you have a purple book that they give you, and so yeah, he gave them my book, which has all my details on it as well. And so we went into the assessment room. I was trying to get onto the assessment bed. I could barely do it. And there was this midwife that was that came into the area I was in, and she was basically like very monotone, and that was the only thing that was a bit annoying, because it's just like, I guess she's used to this is her job, so she's used to just seeing people in pain, but she was just very, very stoic, and she was just like, breathe, breathe. And I was just like, girl, first of all, you tell me to breathe. I can't breathe. Like, that's annoying me more, because I just can't right now. And then you're doing it with a straight face. Like, honey, like, at least show some empathy. But anyway, I was just, yeah, I would, to be fair, it's true. She should be telling me to breathe, because yeah, I was not breathing. But yeah, she was just very, very, she just showed no empathy. So I just thought, girl, come on. But anyway, there was another lady that was really lovely, and she was really nice, and she was just like telling me how well I'm doing and stuff like that. And so she told me that I needed to obviously get like frog-legged, and she's gonna check. Oh, are you okay, baby? He good. And so anyway, so she checks me, she puts her hands there, and she's like, oh my gosh, I cannot feel your cervix. Like, I can't feel it at all. And I could feel the water bag on top of his head, because my waters hadn't broken yet. And she was just like, you're 8 or 9 centimeters already. Guys, when she told me this, I was shocked, because I literally thought I was 4 or 5 centimeters, and we didn't want to get into hospital and get sent home. So I just was worried that when we got there that I wasn't that far along. And when she told me I was 8 or 9 centimeters already, and I had basically done it on my own, because before we left the house, my husband had given me like 2 paracetamols, which obviously did nothing. So I practically did it on my own, because he only gave it to me just before we left, which was like 20 minutes before we got to hospital. And so I could not believe that I had gone to basically 9 centimeters on my own, no medication, nothing. Guys, I was so proud of myself at this point, and so was she. Like, she was so lovely. She was literally like, wow, I'm so proud of you, well done. And I was just like, thank you so much, girl. And so anyway, I got off the bed now, so they're like, okay, let's get you off the bed, let's get you into a room. All of a sudden, my body starts to feel like it's bearing down on itself, like I need to push. And so I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to push. And so they're like, okay. They put me into the wheelchair, and quickly the woman that was assessing me quickly wheeled me out and took me to the ward where I was going to be giving birth. And so I went to give birth on the ward called the home from home ward, because it basically was the ward that you could have a water birth, and it's literally what it says, like, it's home from home. So it doesn't feel as hospitally, and it's a bit of a nicer experience, because you're not like on like a proper ward in these small rooms with like other people next to you. You've got your own room, you've got your own bathroom, you've got a little bed / chair for your partner or husband. And so I really wanted to give birth there, and thankfully I was able to. And so once we got there, I met my midwife, and she was just like, we're filling up the pool for you, because they knew that I wanted to have a water birth. And at this point, I was so far along and in so much pain, I couldn't get in the water. So I was just like, I can't get in no water right now. Like, let me just, please, I just need to get this baby out, because my body was just pushing, and I could just feel so much pressure. And so, so I felt so much pressure at this point. And so they basically got me to get on my all fours, which I was doing before, and that's how I felt more comfortable. And they didn't have a bed in the room, which I noticed when we went in, but I wasn't bothered, because I just wanted to give birth. And after, my midwife told me that they weren't actually the room wasn't actually ready for me yet, and so when they brought me, there was no bed. So I'm so grateful, because I wouldn't have been able to give birth on the bed. Like, I can't give birth on my back. I don't know how women give birth on their back. Like, that just doesn't seem comfortable to me. But anyway, so they had this like mat on the floor, like a blue mat, like, you know, the mats that we used to use in school for like peeing. So they had a mat like that on the floor, and a beanbag. And so I leaned onto the beanbag on my all fours, I obviously had to take off my trousers. I'd taken off my trousers previously to get assessed, so I still had my trousers off. And obviously when they wheeled me out to take me to the room, they covered me. But yeah, so by the time I got into the room, I'd uncovered, got on the floor, and I was just on my all fours. And so they passed me a gas and air. And so at first I tried to use it, and it just wasn't. Oh, sorry, he's fussing a little bit. Okay. Yeah, they passed me the gas and air, and it just was not doing much for me at this point. I was so far along that it wasn't helping. I think if I'd used it in the early stages of my labour, I would have helped, but at this point it wasn't doing anything. So they were like proper like, Renee, use gas and air if you need it, if it's gonna help you. And I was just like, it's not helping. So I put it down and I just said, let me do this, let me just push this baby out. And so yeah, it got to the point where they were telling me like, whenever you feel a contraction, push. And so felt a contraction, push. And my husband was telling me that when I was pushing, I was like proper holding in my breath. So they were telling me to breathe, because I was just like, but I just need, I don't know, that's just how I know to push. But anyway, I was pushing, and then it got to a point where I think they could see his head now. So they were telling me to do like the small breath, like small breaths, like the like you're blowing out a birthday cake or something, like candles. And so I'd learned that before, and I'd heard to do that in my class that I did, so I knew that that was something that I should do. And I also was very, very cautious and aware that I needed to listen to my midwives as well, because I did not want to tear, and I did not want just any bad complications. And if I did tear, I didn't want it to be really, really bad, like a 3rd degree tear. So any instructions they were giving me, I was really, really listening to them. And so yeah, they told me to start doing that, like the breaths. I don't know what that was. And so I started doing it, and they were like, good, we can see his head is coming. And I could feel his head coming through. I could feel what they call the ring of fire. And it wasn't that bad. It was just kind of like a Chinese burn, like someone does a Chinese burn on your arm. It wasn't too bad, because I think the contractions were the worst pain for me. Pushing wasn't anything either. It was just the pressure, and it actually felt good to push, because I knew that he was coming out and then the pain would stop. So how I was thinking of it was, if I push, the quicker I push and the quicker I do with this, the less pain I'll be in soon. So let's just get this done. So I was pushing, and they said I pushed for 21 minutes, and he was out. He literally came out at 10:41 on the 2nd of December. Sorry guys, my husband Gabe came to disturb me and baby. But anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, so he came in 21 minutes at 10:41 on the 2nd of December. So in totality, I was in labour from start to finish for 5 hours basically, which is crazy. And I just can't believe I did it so quickly. I did not expect to have wake up on Monday morning on the 2nd and think I was going to give birth that night. Like, that was not going through my brain. So I just find it so crazy how that all happened. But yeah, so I did end up having a 2nd degree tear. I'm so sorry guys, I just had to pause the video here because I realised I didn't explain in the rest of the video that I actually had a 2nd degree tear, as you just heard. And I was absolutely fine. I only tore because whilst pushing, Judah was going in and out. And so because he was going in and out, he was getting a little bit distressed. So he put his arm up next to his face. And so he came out with his arm and his head out. So it kind of stretched me and it tore me a little bit. But I was absolutely fine. I was able to be stitched up by my midwife and everything was all good. So yeah, just wanted to explain that. That is my labour story, and I hope that it helped somebody, gave somebody some tips and just helped someone. It was a very positive experience. Yeah, everything was just so good. Yeah, the whole experience, even at the hospital that I was at, it felt like I had a private, I paid privately, because it was just so, even though it was on the NHS, it just felt so premium, because all the midwives and just all the nurses and everyone was just so helpful. I even had a physiotherapist come and see me this day after I gave birth to tell me how to recover from giving birth, and also the stitches. So it was incredible. and they just treated me and my husband so well, and my family. But yeah, that was my story. And if you guys would like a video on how I'm doing now, and any tips or anything like that, or just anything really, let me know down below. And I have been vlogging here and there, but obviously I have been in my newborn bubble, and I've just been trying to get used to the sleepless nights and stuff, and I'm finally starting to get used to it all. But it has taken some time to get used to, so I will be back vlogging properly soon. But yeah, thank you for giving me grace and giving me some time. But yeah, I will be back on my YouTube vlogging journey again. But yeah, right now I'm just trying to grasp this whole new life. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye. I've been losing all my